Hey, I'm Dave from Tesla Hire WA, and I'm here with our brand new 2021 Tesla Model 3, which a lucky customer has rented out for tomorrow. So I thought I'll take this opportunity to do up a quick video and show anyone who's interested, whether it be someone who's renting this car, whether it be someone who's interested in buying a Tesla at some stage, or people who are just curious about how Teslas work. In this video, I'm going to go through all the ins and outs of how to use them, how to drive them, all the different features and functionality they've got. So let's get straight into it. So firstly, Teslas don't come with a normal key. They come with a key card like this. To get into the car, all you do, simply touch it. You can see like that. The car was unlocked previously, it's now locked and the mirrors have closed. We tap it again to unlock it and we're good to go. To actually open the door, what you do, thumb presses on here and then you pull that out like that. And then you can hop into the beautiful spacious interior. As you can see, we've got the 15-inch touchscreen in the middle. There's a center console for your cup holders and stuff like that. So let's just get straight in and have a look around. Okay, so now we're in the car. What we need to do is take this card here and put it on the center console just here, like that. Once it's there, we are good to go. So all we do, put our foot on the brake and we're ready to roll. So nothing's changed. There isn't any noise. There's no engine that's started up. We literally just put our foot on the brake and we're good to go. So to go anywhere, what we do is we have the gear stalk over here. I'll just move the steering wheel a little bit. So as you can see, reverse is up, neutral's in the middle, drive is down, and that's cruise control there. So if we want to go in reverse, we lift it up like that. All of a sudden, the cameras update with what's behind us. The mirrors have lowered so that we can see a bit better. Take our foot off the brake pedal, and we don't actually go anywhere. So even though our foot's not on the brake, we don't go anywhere. You have to actually push the accelerator to start moving. As soon as you take your foot off the accelerator, you'll stop moving. That's one of the big differences with an electric car, is that you don't use the brake anywhere near as much as you do when you're driving a normal car. And the reason for that is that electric cars have regenerative braking. What that means is as soon as you take your foot off the accelerator, the car starts slowing down. So there's nowhere near as much need to put the brakes on. Now sure, if there's something running out in front of you or a car stopped right in front of you, you can jam on the brakes as per a normal car. But it's certainly one of the biggest differences to get used to when you're driving an electric car, is that as soon as your foot comes off the accelerator, the braking begins. Okay, so before we go anywhere, let me show you around a little bit through the touchscreen. So you've got all your main menu options down along the bottom here. We have car, which has all your things like your mirrors. So when you'll get in, you'll probably want to adjust your mirror straight away. So you can click mirrors, left mirror, right mirror, and you use this scroll wheel here, up and down, left and right, to adjust your left mirror. Once that's done, do the same for your right mirror. Again, the same scroll wheel here. Once you've done that, you can click the X out of there, and you can adjust the steering wheel if you'd like to as well. Other things in here you don't really need to worry about if you're just renting the car. Lights will come on automatically, same with fog lights. The display brightness will change based on the outside brightness. So at the moment we're in the shade, but if we're in the sun, the brightness will increase on the screen, so it's easy to see things. Lights are on auto high beam, all that kind of stuff. Keys, we've got my phone, and then we've got the key card that I showed you before. You can turn window lock and child lock on, and a few other different things. Display is on auto, so it'll automatically switch to night mode, so it won't be so bright when you're driving around at night time. In driving, we've got on standard, steering mode is standard, and stopping mode is hold. They're the options I prefer. If you want to, sport mode I've heard is quite stiffer in the steering, and acceleration for chill is probably just a little bit easier, but I leave it on standard and it drives great. Autopilot. Now this car has Autopilot, which all Teslas come with. It's not the full self-driving package, it is just Autopilot, and I'll show you how that works in a minute in a demo. But we've got all these things on. Speed limit warning is display, relative speed, collision warning medium, lane departure avoidance assistance, so that if you're swerving out of a lane it will automatically bring you back in. Navigation, this is just the standard navigation options with the GPS. Safety and security, we can turn on Sentry mode is switched on. I've got Accept for at home. So with Sentry mode, what it does is it records any activity that happens around the car while you're not in it. So if you park it in a car park somewhere and someone pulls into a car park and dings the side of your car, well, it'll catch that footage, hopefully also catch their car registration, and it'll save it to the hard drive that's in the glove box. That can then be used for any insurance claim. So extremely handy to have. Service is just the manual and a few other different things, and software is, as you can see, 941 Ks on the clock, so it's brand spanking new. It was only delivered just over a week ago. Current software it's running is 2020-4830, and it's up to date, and software updates come through automatically on the car all the time with bug fixes and little improvements. Glove box, click that button there, glove box opens, nice and easy. Close it up as per usual and we're all good. So that's the car section. The main one you're probably going to use is music. So you can bring up the music here. We have Spotify. You can go through home, playlists, artists, all that kind of stuff. So any music you want, you can search for a particular artist or title, song or genre that you want to listen to. As you can see, there are plenty of options available. And the sound system in the car is pretty sweet, so you'll get plenty of use out of that. Next button along is the camera button, so you can just see outside what's going on. Handy that it comes on when you're reversing, but other than that, probably not going to get a whole lot of use. This is obviously windscreen wipers, which we don't need right now. The up button gives us toy box, entertainment, and a whole bunch of other different options. So toy box is a little bit gimmicky stuff, if you like. There are things like emissions. I've got a 5-year-old who absolutely loves this, but other than kids like that, probably not going to come in too handy. You've got things like a romance mode, sketch pad, Santa mode. All of them, feel free to have a browse through them if you do hire this car out, but I won't go through them in a whole lot more detail at the moment. Entertainment, if you do stop at a supercharger or a charger anywhere, or just have a bit of time to kill, you can jump in here and watch some Netflix, some YouTube, Twitch, or the Tesla tutorials. Web is just an internet browser in case you want to search the internet. The car has its own LTE connection, so while you're out and about driving or parked or whatever, it uses that connection to stream the music or stream Netflix or YouTube or anything like that. Charging will tell us we're currently set at 87%. If we do want to stop off and get a charge, we just go open charge port, and I'll go through that process with you of charging the car in a little while, but this will show us where it's up to. I've got mine set to only charge to 90%, which is good for the battery health. If we're going on a long trip, I'd probably charge it to 100, but 90 is certainly more than enough most of the time. Energy, this goes through details of how far it is likely to allow you to go. So at the moment 347 kilometers, which is around about where it normally is. You can have a look at your trip consumption as well. If you set a trip, you can see how that trip is going as far as how much electricity you have consumed. Camera I've already shown you. Calendar is just, it syncs with your Google Calendar or Apple Calendar, and call allows you to make phone calls. So connect your phone in and you can make phone calls through the Bluetooth system in the car. Next two icons here are for the heated seats. So driver heat on, passenger heat on and off. Haven't used them yet. It's hot where we are right now. It's 30, as you can see, 31 degrees Celsius outside. So definitely don't need the heated seats on. Pressing the fan here, I've got it currently set to 20 degrees. There's no one sitting in the passenger seat. If there was, the passenger aircon would turn on automatically as well. Over here you can actually see the airflow coming through. You can turn that higher or lower, or angle that higher or lower I should say, and also spread it out or bring it in together. So that's easy to adjust. You can also change it from auto to a fan speed if you really want to. I find auto works great. Around about 20 is absolutely beautiful in here. Demisters, nothing complex there, and the volume over here. So that is pretty much the ins and outs of the console. Up here you can see the car is unlocked. It's 12:38 p.m, 31 degrees outside. DJ, that's my nickname. Here, that is if the camera is recording, and this is for Sentry mode. So let's have a quick look at some Sentry mode footage. So we've got launch viewer. At the moment, that's what's being recorded, or that was what's recorded a few minutes ago, 12:35 right there. So 12:35, right now it's 12:38. We can go back through and have a look at previous Sentry events of when things have happened, or we can look at dash cam events. So for example, right here, we can go up to where the red dot is, and you will see this is a dash cam event. So what's happened is I've honked my horn and it records it. So I've gone into that lane, this person has cut across, and so when I honked my horn, it automatically recorded this footage. So certainly super handy having it for Sentry mode and having the dash cam there for every time if you were to honk a horn, it'll record whatever's happened. If you're driving along and something happens that you want to record that it hasn't recorded because you haven't honked, all you do is quickly press that button there and it will record what was previously happening for I think about 30 seconds prior to you pressing that button. As you saw here, when I click on my profile, we can enter it into valet mode, which if you are getting the car taken by a valet, it just prevents them from going out and taking it for a thrash. Other than that, if we have a quick look at the steering wheel controls, obviously horn in the middle, we've got up and down scrollers and side to side scrollers on both sides. Now on the left hand side is where we have our indicators and our windscreen wipers. So most Australian cars have those on the right, but in the Teslas we've got the indicators on the left hand side and the windscreen wipers as well. On the right hand side, as I previously mentioned, reverse is to go up, neutral and then drive is down. I'll show you cruise control and autopilot, but also if you just push in on the end button here, it will put it in park, or if you hold it down, it'll put it in complete park mode. So when you're finished in the car, just hold that P down for a couple of seconds and you'll see the park indicator display on the screen, and you will be good to go to get out. You don't have to press any buttons to switch it off. Just be sure you grab your trusty Tesla card to take with you, and you can just hop straight out. Now, speaking about hopping straight out, to get out of the car, this is the button that you press. So it's got a door icon there. You press that, it'll release and it'll open, and you're good to go. There is a manual release here that you can lift up, but that's not the right way of doing it. The best way of doing it is pressing this button. When you press this button, it'll automatically lower the window slightly and open the door so that you can push it open and hop out. Inside we have two wireless phone chargers here, one for driver, one for passenger, or vice versa. It's really up to you. Literally just put your phone straight down there and it will start charging, which is super convenient. Here, to open this center console, this is a new center console in the 2021 model, which differs from the previous models. They previously had a shiny, glossy black finish on them and a lid that opened up here. This finish is much easier to keep clean. To open it, you simply push and it'll stay there. As you can see, I've got a couple of things in there. And then to release it, you don't pull on it, you push and it will come straight back. Cup holders, of course, center console, as per usual. Got a tripod sitting there at the moment. Couple of convenient things in the back. Obviously you have aircon vents, but also a couple of USB-C chargers to charge phones for passengers in the back. And there you go, 3 seats across the back there. The entire roof is actually glass, so you can see straight through the roof. There's a beam across there, and then it's all glass there, which is beautiful. When you're sitting in, whether you're in the front or in the back, it's nice to be able to look up and see what's going on outside. So that is it. When you hop out, don't forget, grab your little card here, shut your door, tap your key card, you hear a little beep, mirrors will close, and then you are all done. Okay, so we're back in the car, ready to go for a drive. I've put the trusty key card down on the center console. We are good to go. As I said, put your foot on the brake, flick it up to go into reverse, and then away we go. So as you can see, it's got the 50k speed limit up on the screen to let us know what the speed limit is around here. You'll see it picks up things like bins and cars and trucks and things, identifying everything that's around pretty much. Witches, hats and cones it'll also pick up. So that's your speed limit there of 50. This 50 here is what we set our cruise control to. So I haven't activated cruise control just yet, but I will in just a minute, and I'll show you how we can adjust that. So again, remembering indicator stalk on the left hand side. No cars, all clear. Okay, so let's say we want to activate cruise. We're just going to push down on the stalk once. You can see that cruise is activated with a speed of 50 kilometers an hour, which it does automatically. If it notices any other speed signs around, it'll automatically detect those speed signs, which we'll try and go and find one. But as long as I don't touch the brake or the accelerator, it'll continue cruising at 50 kilometers an hour, or slightly slower around a corner, as you saw. Now, if I want to increase that or decrease that, I can do so with the right scroll wheel over here. So if I swipe down, you can see the numbers going down to 44, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40 k's an hour. And so now it will just cruise at 40 k's an hour. Won't go any faster unless I put my foot on the accelerator or if I scroll it up. Now, if I want to scroll it up in groups of 5 k's an hour, I just do a big roll. There you go, it'll go to 45, and there you go, it'll go to 50, and it'll automatically accelerate up to those speeds and continue on at those speeds. Now, one of my absolute favorite features of the Tesla Model 3 is Autopilot. And before buying this car, I thought it would be great. I thought it would be really helpful. I thought it would be kind of fun. But since owning this car, my thoughts on it have changed. It is more than great. It is absolutely awesome, and it's amazing just how well this car can drive itself. Now, before I show you it, let me just be clear, this is not full self-driving. You cannot take your hands off the wheel and lay down and have a sleep or pull your phone out and play games or anything like that. This Autopilot is just designed to assist you. What it does is it will stay within the lanes that it's meant to. It will slow down or speed up based on the car in front of you. It will not stop at stop signs, it will not stop at traffic lights or anything like that. So you still need to be in control of the car. But it is really useful when you're going on long drives, like we happened to do last weekend down south to Busselton and Dunsborough and Margaret River and all around there. The car drove itself, I would say, probably 90 to 95% of the way in Autopilot. So it really is useful. So let me show you how it works. When the steering wheel shows up here, it means the Autopilot is ready to be engaged. 2 clicks down on the stalk, it'll say please keep your hands on the wheel, and the blue circle will appear around the steering wheel, indicating that Autopilot is engaged. You put your foot on the brake, it'll automatically disengage Autopilot, and you'll be back controlling the car yourself. So let me just get through this intersection here, and I'll try and give you a better run of what Autopilot can do. If there are no lanes marked on the road, then it won't be able to engage. You won't be able to engage Autopilot. So as you can see, there are lanes being identified on the screen here, and therefore Autopilot is available to be activated. Again, lanes, it pops up. So if it gets into a spot where it doesn't identify the lanes, or it can't tell where to go or what it should do, it'll sound an alert, and obviously you need to have your hands on the steering wheel anyhow, so then you can take control and continue driving. So it really is just a useful tool. Less so, you wouldn't really use it in suburban streets like I'm on right now, but to use it on street, on highways or freeways where you're dealing with multi-lanes of traffic, and you're dealing with long drives down south, up north, wherever it might be, it's really, really useful. Okay, so I'm coming up here. Autopilot says it can go on. The speed sign's just identified a 60 speed limit, so as you would have seen on the side here. So as you can see, Autopilot is engaged. So my hand is still on the steering wheel, but the car is actually driving itself. As you can see, the car is driving itself around this corner, staying within the lanes. Now, if you just have your hand on the steering wheel like this, it'll detect it and everything will be fine. As you probably saw a message before saying please apply pressure to the steering wheel, there's someone on a scooter there being picked up. If it says please apply pressure to the steering wheel, there it goes, 50 kilometre sign, so it slows down automatically. Then you need to put your hand on the steering wheel and wiggle it a little bit just to let it know that you are still here and looking. Coming up to a roundabout here, so I've just taken control, but we'll go around this roundabout and we'll get in the right lane, and we're back into a 50 zone here. So we'll re-engage Autopilot, and again you can see there's a car next to me, as you can see here, and you can see it's picked up the lane markings. There's lane markings on the left and an island on the right. So I'm feeling comfortable that the car is right in the middle of the lane. It's identified the car that's near me, so I'm not concerned about it running into that. The lane markings are clear, it's all happy, so it's going to continue driving itself. As I said, it won't stop at traffic lights, but coming up here there's a car that's stopped at traffic lights in front of me, so it is going to stop behind that car, and that car is turning right, and it's going to be sitting there for a little while waiting for it to turn. As you can see, the lights were red but they've now gone green. It's going to wait for this car in front of me to turn and hop out of the way, and then the car's going to continue on its way all on its own in autopilot. So you can see still got the blue circle there. If I wasn't in this video I would have actually pulled into the left lane and gone straight past, but I wanted to show you that when there's a car in front of you it will stop for the cars in traffic, and it will speed up after the car is out of the way. You can see the car edged forward and then stopped, so did I. It's waiting for a gap. Let's wait for that car to go, and it's starting off, no foot on the accelerator or brake. It's staying within its lane, and as you can see there's a car identified in front of me. Speed limit signs have changed to 60, so up here it's updated to 60 as well. You can see my cruise is set to 50 kilometers an hour, so I'll just do a couple of quick swipe ups to 60. So there's auto steer speed restricted to 60 kilometers an hour, and as soon as that car goes, look, no hands on the steering wheel, no feet on the pedals, it will continue on its way for as long as it's safe to do so with the car in front. So as the car in front accelerates up to 60 k's an hour, my car will continue driving and staying within the lanes and doing its own thing. So I don't generally recommend autopilot be used on suburban streets like this. A lot of people would just use it where they use cruise control, which is generally on main roads or highways or freeways, but as you can see it does a fantastic job if you do decide to engage autopilot. You just need to be aware, you do need to have your hand on the steering wheel at all times. As soon as you push the brake it will disengage, I should say, autopilot, and you will then need to take over control steering. So we're going around a slight bend here, as you can see, and it's staying within its lane still. This car's stopping in front of me to turn, so it'll stop behind this car, and once the car has cleared the space and gotten out of the way, it'll continue on in this lane. As you can see they've gone, so the car still picking up all the lane markings. We'll continue on to 60 k's an hour and keep going straight ahead. It's not going to turn, if you put your indicator on, it's not going to turn corners for you. However, one thing to be aware, if you do put your indicator on, it will disengage autopilot. So what that means is, and I'll just wait to see this car in front of us. Yep, so again, another car's turning, it slows down, we'll wait for them to get out of the way, and then it will continue. So waits for them to get clear and then takes off. So I'm going to take a right turn up here, and as you'll see, as soon as I flick the indicator on, autopilot will be disengaged, but cruise control will not. So I'll indicate right, autopilot's off, cruise is still on, so I need to tap the brake or put my foot on the brake to start slowing down. Cruise control gets disengaged, and then we're coming to a stop now. So just be aware, autopilot will be disengaged as soon as you flick your indicator, and that is because if you're on, say, a 2 or 3 lane highway, flick your indicator, it'll disengage autopilot, then you can steer to change lanes, and then you can just do a double click down again to re-engage autopilot, and you'll be good to go. Now, one little quirk that I'll bring to your attention with Teslas is this. The indicator stalk doesn't work quite the same way as it does in other cars. And I'm not talking about the fact that it's on the left versus on the right. I'm talking about the fact that to disengage it, usually in another car, for example, you would click it right, and then to disengage it, you would click it left to go down. But in a Tesla, if you do that, as you can see, it's actually not disengaged the right indicator. It's gone straight from going right indicating to going left indicating. So instead, what you do in a Tesla is you engage. I'll just wait till we get through this intersection because there's a car behind me and I don't want to cause too much confusion. We'll go through this intersection actually and I'll show you. So we want to exit the intersection, we go left indicator, we just give it a quick tap and that does 3 quick indicates like a lot of cars do. But if we put the indicator on properly for a left turn and it continues staying on left, if I go all the way right, it will change to right. So instead of doing that, you give a quick tap on the left and it goes off. So again, all the way it'll stay on. When you've finished your change, a quick tap and you're good to go. Now, as with all cars, if you indicate anyway and you go around a corner, it will automatically turn off as you just saw. So that still works the same just as any other car. But when you're indicating to change lanes on a multi-lane road or freeway or whatever it might be, you'll need to do your indicator and then to switch it off, just give it a quick tap in the same direction and it will disengage it. So if you want to navigate to anywhere, you can type in McDonald's and it'll say McDonald's Mandurah Forum. Click on that and it will do the usual navigation things. It'll tell you how to get there, it'll tell you what your battery will be when you get there. It'll be 84%, and doing a round trip there and back, it'll be 83%. You can change settings for auto navigation to avoid tolls and things like that. But that is how to use navigation. If you don't want to use it anymore, you press cancel and it'll just go back to the usual map view. One other thing to show you before I get back home and show you how the charging works is that you can use voice commands as well. So for example, let's say you want to play some Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice, or you want to navigate somewhere. You can press down on the right hand scroll wheel, play Ice Ice Baby. Yeah, there we go. VIP. Let's kick it. Ice, ice, baby. Okay, enough of that now. To stop, you can just press pause on that. But you can use it for navigating places as well. So you can say just navigate home, or navigate to McDonald's, or navigate to a club or restaurant, or whatever it might be. Anything like you would in search up for in the navigation system, you can use via voice control to navigate there, whether it be an individual address or a venue. It will take you there. So now we will head home and I will show you a little bit about how charging works, how to check the charging rates, how to plug and unplug and all that kind of thing. So let's skip ahead and I'll meet you at home in a minute. Okay, so we've made it home. Long press on the end of the stalk to put the park brake on and we're good to go. Now we literally just take our key card, press the button and out we hop. And we're going to head over to the charger. Before we do that, if we push the up arrow here and go to charging, so you can see the battery is currently on 82%. We would click open charge port and then out we go, closing the door behind us. And you can see the charge port has opened. If it wasn't open, there we go, we close it just by pushing it down. If it wasn't open, we just give it a little press at the bottom there and it opens up. We then grab the charging connector, which I have here. You can see that's what it looks like on the end. 2 little ones at the top and then 5 bigger ones across the bottom. They slot into that top part there. Some chargers have charging cables which include the top and the bottom, and they're generally superchargers that charge very quickly. My home charger just uses this. We slot it straight in like that, and when it starts, you'll see it starts flashing that light advising that it's connected, and now it's flashing green, so it means that it is charging. So if we were to go and jump into the car and have a look what it says on here, we can see that it's currently charging at 16 of 32 amps, and that's because I've got it set down here at 16 amp current charge, and it'll take an hour 20. Now, the reason I set it to 16 and just do 4 kilowatts is because I'm charging it up from my solar panels, so it's not actually costing me anything at all to charge. And my solar panels are a 5 kilowatt system, so we can have the car charging completely for free and using a few things inside. If I wanted to get it charged up nice and quickly, I would go all the way up to 32, which is as high as the power point that I've got installed goes to. And as you can see, it will ramp up over here, 22, 24, 25, 26, and it will speed up, and it now says it's only 40 minutes to charge. Now, when the battery's really low, so if you had the battery down to say 20%, it would charge a lot quicker getting it up there, but as it gets closer to full, it charges more slowly. So 80 to 90% is slow, and 90% to 100% is even slower. And that's much like when you're charging your mobile phone, it's the same. It's because it just eases off the charging as it gets higher. So what I'm going to do is just switch that back down to 16, because I'm in no rush to get it charged up super duper fast. It's already at 82%, which is plenty for me. And we will wait for it to charge. Now, when it's finished, it's very straightforward. All you do is hit stop charging. As you can see, it says charging stopped. We can press the unlock button. We come out here. There's no buttons to press to release it or anything. You just grab it firmly and pull out. And once you've done that, after a few seconds, the lid will close and you're done and dusted. So if you wanted to put it back on charge, which I'm going to, just for the sake of charging it up, put it back in, it'll detect it, connect, and then start charging. And again, it's remained at 16 amps because that's what I set it to. So if you're going to a supercharger or charging elsewhere, it will usually increase this to the maximum that's available. If it doesn't, feel free just to press plus all the way up to get the maximum capacity that you want. But at home on my solar power, I'm happy to have it just sit here for an hour and a quarter and charge up to 90% like that. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed having a look at what the brand new 2021 Tesla Model 3 looks like and how it works. If there's anything that I've said that you're not sure about, if I've made any mistakes, if you've got any questions that I haven't addressed or corrections or anything like that, add them in the comments below. If you want to see videos of anything else, whether it be driving for long distances on Autopilot, or whether it be having a look at a bit more detail of all the different entertainment and game options that are available, whatever it is, let me know in the comments below. And if you would like to hire this amazing brand new 2021 Tesla Model 3, feel free to go to teslahirewa.com and check out when it's available. And much like Kirsty, who's coming out here tomorrow, you'll be able to take this out and have an amazing time on the roads and see what all the hype about the Teslas is all about. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment below and hit subscribe if you want to be notified of future videos. Thanks, see you in the next one.